talking about this match. Last 16, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. Yeah. I believe Equatorial Guinea has already beaten Guinea-Bissau. So I guess right now they're a bigger Guinea in terms of this tournament. Maybe we'll see something else in this one. Already, Cameroon has been knocked out as one of the big names. And Namibia, Shem. Namibia, now they lost out, unfortunately. But we are here. Hey, we're building up towards Ibafana Bafana Morocco. That's what we're building up towards. That is the big match that we're building up towards, but we're going to show these matches the respect they deserve as they come on. Welcome, everybody. My name is George Mokwena. This is a live watch-along of Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea in the AFCON 2023 last 16. Let's see who can make it into the quarters. Guys, just let me know that my sound is fine there, that you can hear me, that everything is good. And they have kicked off. Equatorial Guinea, of course, in the last 5 games, they have 3 wins, 2 draws, and this year's current top goal scorer in the AFCON, Nzu. He's the top goal scorer at the AFCON currently. Guinea, on the other hand, they have 2 losses, 2 wins, and a draw in their last 5 games. Thank you, Lerato, for confirming there. Equatorial Guinea's lineup: Owona in goal, Akapo number 15 in the defense, Esteban Orozco number 21. We have Coco 16. We have Ndongu's number 11. 4 is Bikoro. 22 is Garnett. 6 Salvador. 8 Buila. 7 Pepi, and then number 10 Unzu. Then, of course, on Guinea's side, we have 22 Kone in goal, Diakate number 12, Diakabi number 5, Jean-Fir number 17, Sila number 3, 20 Konate, Diawara's number 6, the other Sila is number 22, Kamara 18, 7 is Guialavogi, and then 11 is Bayo. Those are the 2 starting lineups. Let's see, man. Let's see. Of course, Equatorial Guinea, 88th in the world. 88th in the world, and then 18th in Africa. And then, of course, Guinea itself is 80th in the world, and then 15th in Africa. Teams that are not meant to be here. Teams that, when you look at African history and some of the standings right now, they're not meant to be this far in the competition. But this AFCON has given us some great entertainment, has given us some incredible surprises, shocks, and we've seen a lot of teams do well that maybe we never were looking at. It actually makes me start thinking about how my own rankings in my own head look like, because, you know, I always had Abokana, you know, the sexy sounding countries, Abokana, Abo Cameroon, you know, Abo Algeria, who finished last in their group. I always had them so high up. And I went into this AFCON thinking to myself, man, guys, you know, Abo Mares, they're going to do the business when they get out on the pitch. We're going to see Ivory Coast perform because they're at home. And it didn't work out. You know, even when I speak about my own Bafana Bafana team, I always sit back and I think, man, Bafana Bafana, I don't know if maybe I ranked them too low, or I'm doing them a disservice by putting them too low in my head. But the truth is, when we look at where South African football is, and where Bafana Bafana is themselves in terms of the types of performances they've given us, it tells the story that maybe the older, more successful countries from the past are no longer the same powerhouses that we think of. I mean, think of it also of the players. How many true stars do we have in this competition? How many true stars have come out of this where you go, man, outside of Sadio Mane, outside of Mohamed Salah and those guys? Will we ever have a tournament where you have a Didier Drogba, you know, the Torres, the Michael Essiens on top of the Gians? Like, will we ever have that type of thing again? And it certainly isn't that in this tournament. Maybe it's also because some of these countries held on too long. Andre Ayew, for example, currently holds the record for the most games played in an AFCON. I believe he got 30, 9, if I'm not mistaken, games played in an AFCON. But then you look at it and you go, do we really, is that a star? Why are they still holding on to him? Can't they? Have they not been able to get past your Essians and those guys when they were playing? They held on so long that they didn't build the next guys. Is that what's happening? Because here we are. You know, Emiliano Nsu plays right back in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. He's the striker. He's doing the business. The smaller countries have shown that they're a little bit more hungrier than anybody else. GT says Percy. Is Percy a standout star? Would you put Percy on the same level as a Sadio Mane, as a Mohamed Salah? That's what I'm saying. Like on the tier list, there's a lot of guys who may be 2 or 3 tiers below. You know, you have your Sanes, your Salahs, proven stars. Then I would put in the Nigerian guy. Why am I forgetting his name now? He can go into the tier just below. About PSG, I don't know that they are stars. I don't know that they're at that level, guys. I don't know. Anyway, 5 minutes in. KG, start of the game. I believe we've only had one shot, and this is the first corner that is going to Guinea. Let's see if they can't score. Something. The other thing that has been incredible about this tournament, guys, the other thing that has been incredible is that we've seen a lot of games turn on their heads. Think about what we saw with Namibia just yesterday, where Namibia, you know, the red card early for was it Nigeria? Sorry. Koketso says stars are African basis, no longer about Europe, says Koketso. We saw them get a red card. Well, the other team got a red card versus Namibia, and we thought, okay, 10 men versus 11, Namibia should take this. Then Angola goes, yes, it's Angola. Angola goes to score 2 goals, and Namibia gets a red card of their own. And you're like, yes, sis, what a switch. What a switch. Kuketso says stars are African basis, no longer about Europe. So then do we really have those stars? Do we have those stars? Like in the games that we've been watching now, how many African-based players have been the ones that have carried teams or been standout stars? How many? If we're saying that they're African-based, how many? Because out of all of the teams, really it's South Africa, Namibia, Egypt to a degree who have African-based players. I don't know that there's that many truly African-based teams. Like we know Bafana is mostly Sundowns. We know that your Al Ahly players and those guys make up the Egypt team pyramids. Namibia was a lot of guys who are based in the PSL. So which other teams where we can say that the stars are from Africa? Rarely. Babuntu, top goal scorer, he doesn't play in Africa. For example, a lot of this team that's out here, I don't think there's anybody that plays in Guinea or in Equatorial Guinea. Which is maybe a conversation you need to have. Tau has won more cups than Salah. Okay, that's true. It depends on how you rank them then. So are you saying that Champions League, African Champions League, Percy, I believe, has 2, 3, weighs more than an English Premiership and a European Champions League? I don't know. It's up to you guys. GT says, "Mar, maybe it's good teams don't have to depend on one person to carry a team." And GT, yeah, that is an interesting point, because that's where football is going in the world. It seems as though we're moving away from having stars, and maybe that's the reason. We're moving away from having standout stars and going towards having teams made up of good players. So where maybe back in the day you'd have one person who's rated 94 on FIFA, and then everybody else is maybe a 65, 70, maybe 2 or 3 75s, 80s. And now you're seeing these coaches and teams much rather have a bunch of 70s, a team of 70 rated players. And then that's where football is going. I mean, look at it even here. For example, coming into the tournament, Girassi was meant to be a very big player. Naby Keita was meant to be a very big player. They started on the bench. You look at Ivory Coast. They played their first few games with Abo Pepe on the bench, Serge Aurier on the bench. A lot of the guys that we thought, okay, because they play in Europe, because they've played in the big leagues, they would start. They were on the benches. So is that maybe what we're doing? We're sacrificing and doing that. Gukezo says, what has European players given us this tournament? Check goal scorers, top goal scorers. It's African based. Well, the top guy is playing now, Nsu, and he doesn't play in Africa. But in general, it's always been that a lot of the players at these AFCONs have been, or the impact players have come from overseas. And I guess that's changing. Part of why I'm having this conversation that maybe it's no longer the case. Maybe it's no longer the case. And what is the reason? Are we exporting the same level of stars? Is it getting too heavy for them to carry? Are they getting older? The guys that we're speaking about, I mean, Sadio Mane is what, 31, 32? Salah has played in 4 of these tournaments. This is his 4th tournament that he's taking part in, should he make it back from injury. So is it maybe just that age is starting to catch up to these guys? Maybe it's just hunger. Maybe it's the newer players want it more, man. A lot of these guys want to get... Look at, is it Inaki Williams? Got on a flight immediately after they lost. Immediately. And went back to England. It was England. No, went back to Spain. Right? So maybe the guys who are looking at the stars, maybe they don't take it seriously. Is that it? But you lots of like I'm not, hey, Maran, Kavit. Yeah, why? What up, Kalan to the lot, Reshebile Guinea. But the ones playing overseas are good. Overseas, because some have whole teams built around them. Ooh, that's true. That's also true. Sometimes it's tough to carry a team on your back. Because, I mean, with most of the most successful teams that we've had at AFCON, like historically, like the Nigerians and stuff like that, it was teams of people. About Didier Drogba had about Toure in the same team who were players of a specific level. Maybe it's breaking their backs, having to carry teams all the way. Maybe Mohamed Salah looking back at El Neni as the next best is probably going, yes, it's tough to carry these guys, And maybe the teams are orientated towards them. A lot of the teams that play here in AFCON, and historically players that play for African teams, a lot of them don't even play in their positions. Kiyo Nsu, number 10. He is a striker. Right back where he comes from. He's a right back where he comes from. Aaron Mokoena, historically, way back when Bafana used to play King, I believe it was the CDM in England. Then they made him a centre back when he came here to Africa, when he came to these games. So I've gone, ow. Diawara. No way. Not Diawara, Salvador. No way. What was that? Senkatele. Okay, let's see. Yeah, bro, it's no longer about big names from Europe. It's a team effort. And yeah, that's what we've been fighting against. Think about a lot of the teams that we see are doing well right now, or we've seen flashes. I'm an Arsenal fan, so we don't necessarily have that many standouts, or a standout, like to the level of, I don't know, a Salah, a Messi, or whatever. We've got really good players who are put into a team, and the coach can maybe control them a little better. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's a control thing, that you can't control some of the bigger players the way you can control players that look to you for everything, right? So maybe, like, for example, Naby Keita might not stick to the plan that the Guinea coach wants to play. So the Guinea coach goes, you know what? I'd much rather play somebody else there, and when we'll bring you on should we need a spark at the end of the game. Maybe it's that type of thing that's happening. Comes to the national team as something else. Titi, in a national team, and I know this is a separate question. In a national team, should a coach be developing a national team, or should they pick just the best players and figure out how to play? Because I feel like there has been a bit of a switch in football where guys like our Bruce are being asked to develop a team. The Guinea coach is developing and building a team. Do you think that now those days of just the best guys coming in and playing are over. Pirates fans, now maybe Sundowns fans, were complaining about Uloch not going to the national team, for example. And there's the camaraderie in the national teams that we have right now that are maybe not the most, some of them are not the most sought after players, but they play. But those so-called small nations, the players grew up in academies in Europe. That's true, Nkabetsi. They now play in lower leagues. They're just not known. That's true. Tsehu says no. What are you saying no to, Tsehu, aka Mr. T? Is that maybe the secret sauce then? Are we finding it? Is that where the advantage comes in? That a lot of these players were overseas. I mean, Nsue, for example, actually, Nsue played for, I believe it was a Spanish team. He played for the under 17s, under 19s, and under 21s before leaving that team and then becoming and taking up the Equatorial Guinea call, right? The call up and switching allegiances. Is that maybe the big reason why these players are successful here? Or can we still say that? Are we that behind as Africa, especially in the more developed leagues? Like, if you look at League 2 in France, how far is the PSL in terms of resources? How far is Egypt in terms of resources, structure, facilities, all of that stuff? I know the rest of the countries, there are a lot of countries that may struggle with that type of thing in Africa a lot. But in terms of the more developed ones, how far are they? GT says building as a national team coach is tricky, so better take the best who can connect. Chemistry is everything. Okay. Are we just lucky that our best just so happens to come from one team? Is that maybe how to look at it? Okay, let's see. 16 minutes in, is still 0-0. Still very cagey. Tactically, there hasn't been too much that has been happening in terms of how these teams want to build up. They've been doing different things. Equatorial Guinea, for example, is going in and out of playing straight down the middle or allowing the winger to push up. The wingers themselves, number 15, Akapo, is pushing all the way up, well, left, right back, is pushing all the way up. And at times, Nsue has to come in and play false nine and go to the wing and things like that. So tactically, there isn't that much, honestly, that is happening. There's been one or two shots, one, not a dangerous cross, but the defender felt that he needed to clear it. And that's what's been happening. I think this game will only come alive either when one of the teams score or as we get later in. I don't see any of these teams wanting to go into penalties or extra time. But also, they look a bit tired, man. What I was saying, Guti, maybe they punched above their weight so much that now that they're coming into here, it's either physically and mentally they might be a little bit spent, or it may just be that, playing in the knockouts, when you've never been to the knockouts, sometimes it plays on your head. This Guinea team, for example, last time out, 2021, they were knocked out last 16 by Gambia. Gambia went through to the quarterfinals last time, knocking out Guinea. So it could be Amanevs that are playing on their heads as well. Who knows? Okay, let's see. We need to win the World Cup, and we'll do it with African-based players. Is changing towards that. Ooh, World Cup. Okay, let me ask you this, Kokenzo. Do you think that locally based players with an international coach wins you the World Cup? If I'm not mistaken, majority of the teams that have won the World Cup have won with local based coaches. So are we angling towards also having those type of coaches, or do we need the expertise of a lot of these European coaches? I mean, if you look at most of the teams here at AFCON, or let's say half of the teams here, they've got a random old white coach there. Do you think that maybe we should be looking at that? I mean, Bruce won with Cameroon last time out. Who knows? This European players have been delaying to win the World Cup because they don't give us 100%. Ace, they're playing on Tuesday. Tuesday at 10 p.m. That's when we are going to be playing. I hope my curse is lifted, man. I hope my curse is lifted. I had a curse in the group stages where the moment I watched the match, the players didn't play. But the moment I wasn't live, there were fireworks. And 20 minutes in, I don't want to lie, this match is not looking like there's any fireworks coming anytime soon. It looks like it's going to be a cagey affair. Very, very cagey affair. GT, hi man, Karakese is back, man. My curse is back. I'd see it in our group where everybody's going crazy. Carrying matches in, and I'm sitting there like, the time I'm not live, it's looking like that. So yeah, that's how it's looking so far. But these are all interesting conversations, guys. Do we trust our local coaches to take our local teams to higher levels? You know, look at Bafana Bafana. We've been trusting local coaches, but it didn't work out. Here's Bruce, comes in with a little bit of discipline, and he goes forward. Or are we going to hold out for Pizzo to jump in and take us forward? Is that who we're holding out for? Pizzo, who's starting a 4-month contract in Saudi Arabia. There are signs, again, to point so that local might be a lot better. If you look at the current holders of the trophy, Senegal, they won it with Aliou Cisse as their coach, former player, was part of those Senegal sides that came second all those years. You know, you look at Algeria, even though the guy resigned in 2019, Jabal won it with Algeria. He was Algerian born, all of that stuff. So are we angling towards that, or are we going to see some more Rigobert songs in these competitions? Who knows, guys? Who knows where this is going to go? But it's a very interesting place. We had a very good argument on the show a while ago where we were speaking about how is the problem that we base everything on Europe. We base everything on Europe, and the players come from Europe, and everything comes from Europe, and we're not doing enough work, and giving enough time towards developing our own games. So the example that I used is that we all say that as South Africans, there's the South African style of play, and it's beautiful, it's tapping the ball, but then when it comes to the national team, we try and bring in all these guys who have not grown up in that. At what point do you say, you know what, guys, we could all ask for players to play tiki-taka. We could all ask for players to be great at everywhere and do all of that. But we're not looking at our guys and saying, these are your strengths and weaknesses. Let's build towards that. So if we know that majority of South Africans, and I know it's changing, but a majority of South African football players are not the tallest people in the world, right? Let's build a style of play that suits the shortness of the people. Think about Barcelona at the time when they were at the top of the world. They didn't necessarily have the biggest players, Xavi, Iniesta, Villa, Messi, Pedro. They were all smaller players. Carlos Puyol is not the biggest defender, for example. Jordi Alba and those guys, Alves, are not the biggest players. But they looked at them and said, all right, guys, how then do we play the ball the way we need to be strong at? And will Africa ever do those type of things? Or are we going to leave the development to Europe and then be surprised when we're not happy with the styles of plays that are there, or we close so many chances for other players to play? Do you think there'll ever be an African team winning the World Cup? I don't think so. I don't think so. And to be honest with you, I believe that it comes down to the numbers. Europe will always have more chances to win because they've got more players, more teams in the World Cup. If it was an even playing field where, let's say, everybody brought 10 of their best, we would have a chance, I believe. We'd probably have a chance. But if it's only going to be 5 and the best guys are always going to knock each other out before you go in, even in the expanded format, there's only 9 African teams or 8 African teams in comparison to Europe, who's going to be bringing 13. numbers game says no, it's not going to happen. Numbers game says no, it's not going to happen. Lerato says we could give it to Rulani with his Sundown squad. It could work because he knows these players. That could work. That could work. As a local coach, that could work. That could actually work. But here's another thing. And Sundowns fans, I don't want you to be snacks. Is there a mentality problem with some of our African teams? Like, for example, South Africa, where Sundowns is an incredible team. They've been dominant for a very long time. But when it comes to CAF, they have an AFL this year, which is great. But then in terms of the actual Champions League, they haven't won it a lot. And when you look at the European guys, even when they don't look as strong or whatever, there's a mentality, not European, North Africans, there's a mentality where they can go win this thing. And I'm using that as an example, but at a national team level, remember there were times where Egypt was the best team in Africa by far, but they just couldn't compete when they got to national team level. I mean, who's the last time? Morocco got to a semi-final last time out, and then Ghana before that. But otherwise, numbers-wise, our teams will complain. Tuso says Ghana was close. We'll win it one day, especially Morocco and Egypt. Will they, though, Tuso? Will they, though? Or will we see the up and down? One team will be strong this year. Then when we think they're going to go and take it, they'll be weak the following year, and another team will pick up. I don't know. And I don't know that there's a team right now in Africa that has the firepower. And I know quality-wise, that has the firepower to go head-to-head with some of these countries. Again, it could be a situation where because we're getting towards the end of a lot of eras, maybe in the era of not having stars, we could stand up. But in the era of stars, I don't know. Have you seen how everyone becomes African during the World Cup? That won't help to win the World Cup. GT says, leave us alone. Stanzo says, Senegal is the best team right now. Best team, true, here. But Senegal hasn't performed at a World Cup. It's been Morocco, for example. It's been Morocco and those countries. 26 minutes in, guys. 26 minutes in. It's been uneventful. I don't want to lie to you guys. It's KG teams. Nobody wants to make the first mistake. That's the big thing. Nobody wants to make the first mistake in this game. So they're playing very safe. It's wide balls. It's circulating the ball a lot. Nobody's really making dangerous runs. Guinea is in a mid to low block right now. They don't want to let anybody else run in to that end. So they're matching up well. They're holding each other, but it's very tense. It's a very tense game, and nobody wants to be the cause of the loss, if that makes sense. So that's what we're seeing right now. It looks like my curse is still on. My curse, my AFCON curse, where I watch games and there's no fireworks. The Namibia game, there was fireworks, man. Oh, there was fireworks in that game. Let's see. And Zuta says on YouTube, Equatorial Guinea chances for potential surprise quarterfinal spot. I think they can make it, or semis. I think they can make it. If they can discover that magic that they played with in the beginning. And I feel like a lot of the time what's happening is that those wins came from that adrenaline, man. We're in a tournament, we're in a 3. They don't look at us as one of the favorites to make it out, all of that stuff. And they come out and they played with their hearts. Now I feel like they're second guessing themselves and they've lost some of that fire. Think about Namibia, for example. Namibia against Mali, when they won, they looked incredible. They had a plan, sit back, absorb. Then there'll come a time where they They accelerate. And then the next few games, they've just looked completely out of it. Completely. They've just looked like they're not a team that can play. So I think that's also catching up to the guys. And maybe that's what gives Senegal and those countries a little bit of an advantage, because they've been there and done that before, you know. And like I said, Guinea was knocked out. This Guinea team was knocked out in the last 16 last time around, 2021. I'm not sure about the Equatorial Guinea team. Somebody can just correct me there and tell me where they finished. But it's squeaky bum time. Squeaky bum time when it counts and the pressure's on and the eyes are on you and we're all trying to look at you for a result that we need. Sometimes inexperience shows its head. You know, sometimes you need to be playing at a certain pace. But I think also, like I said, in this game and possibly in the games going forward, they're going to be very cagey affairs. We're not going to see 3-0, 4-0 games like we did in the group stages. It'll probably get only exciting towards the end of games and things like that. So yeah, it is what it is, you know. South Africa, the 2024 AFCON winners. Hola, Tuso. Yeah, that's the spirit. Senegal is best right now. Chiefs needs Balulu there up front. They had the same fire as Namibia. Now they need quality, which is what they don't have, says Senzo. Maybe that's where quality comes in. Maybe the difference between a lot of the countries at AFCON, the countries who do well and the countries who don't do well, maybe the difference is very simple. Maybe the difference is when you get to this stage of the competition, maybe you need a Sadio Mane who's got enough quality to take you over the line. So if it's a 0-0 and you have Sadio, they can take you over the line. If you're 0-0 and you have Mohamed Salah, they can take you over the line. Maybe that's the difference, right? Maybe what we saw in the group stages was, again, adrenaline, excitement, and all of that stuff. Now, when it gets to where nobody can afford to make a mistake, I think what a lot of these countries came into this tournament with was the idea that you can afford to make a mistake. I can afford to be very attacking as Equatorial Guinea, for example, because nobody's looking to me to do anything different. I can afford to play maverick football up and down as the balls to the wall as a Cape Verde, because nobody has been expecting a lot from a Cape Verde. So now you're in group stages. If you got to 3 games, you play. If you don't do well, you go home. The moment you leave the group stages and now you have to play knockouts, the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Now do you start thinking to yourself, ooh, I shouldn't have been holding out. Think about the game that Sundowns played against TS Galaxy in the Carling knockout. First game, TS Galaxy has nothing to lose. They come out swinging. They go 2-0 up. Then there's a point in the match that hits them where they go, "Hey man, should we be at this level? Should we be playing this? Maybe we should sit back and be a little less brave." And maybe that's what's happening in these games. Maybe that's what we're going to see from a lot of the countries, you know? Let me read. The Nyamas only there carry first games to every stage. Lucky our game is the last. Equatorial Guinea top goal scorer for his nation, but he's playing left back. Yes, he's playing right back. Yeah, left or right back. If we beat Morocco and meet one of these teams, we're short of semis, says Tembinkosi. Senzo says, look at Osimhen for Nigeria. He might not be scoring, but his quality won them the game. You see, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's the difference. The difference is that you need to have a game changer. So when you look at the other countries, do we have game changers? Think about Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana right now, we've got a good squad. It's mostly Sundowns. But would you say that there's somebody from the bench or somebody on the game that could flip the game on its head late on, for example? So Utemba Zwane is great. Can't play 90 minutes, right? He's been the guy we're building around. So what happens when we hit 90 minutes and it's 0-0? Do we have people that can come on to change the game? Look at Equatorial Guinea. You look at their bench. They don't have any big names where you could say, Yazdi, you have some experience at this type of level and we can bring you in to change it. You know, their best stars are on the pitch right now. You look at Guinea. Maybe you'll see a Guirassi. Maybe you'll see a Naby Keita coming on later on to show that experience that, hey guys, I've played in Champions League finals. I've played in very big games. I've had to carry a team. Maybe. Who knows? Kogetso says we'll beat Morocco. These are the knockouts. We'll shock the world. Is Tau that person, Tree? Besides Zwane, we don't have a player that can grab the game for Ibafana, says Usenzo. He's not there. He's not there. He's going to get his Bafana passport later on. Tau needs to come and center half. Hey, you guys in the comments. But anyway, 34 minutes. 34 minutes, they come from a cooling break. It seems that Equatorial Guinea is still playing a very high right back. They go to a back three sort of thing, and their winger tucks in. They sort of exchange. Him and the number 10, Unsue, they exchange a little bit. Hampe, wait, isn't this guy at the back with the frosted tips, with the blonde hair, isn't he the guy Otati celebration ga Dlamini? Number 21. Isn't he the one who started riding Dlamini, the Amazulu fan, and now it's famous around the world? Just look at the passes. 35 minutes in, we only had 120 passes from Guinea and 183 from Equatorial Guinea. It just tells you everything about this game. It's a very cagey affair. Kogetsu says we'll beat Morocco. I'm not scared for Morocco. I said it in the thing, and then everybody said I'm going crazy. We've seen Morocco before. We've played Morocco twice. And I believe we drew with them, if I'm not mistaken, and won the last time we played them. So at the very least, it's a team that we know, like we're familiar with them. It's not like a team that's coming out of the woodwork. So I'm not that scared of this Morocco team, to be honest with you. And I think the draw gave us a very good draw. You know, you don't want to play against a team that is your level or lower because they're going to come in guns blazing. You don't want to play against a team that is very good and you've never seen, right? Like, for example, if we were to play Senegal, I don't know about our chances there. But if it's a team that we were playing just the other day and we've beaten just the other day, I fancy my chances a lot more there. I know a lot of you are going to point to quality, but I'm not, honestly, Ziyech and Hakimi don't scare me that much, if I'm being 100% honest with you. They're one of those players where it's like, it's stars, yes. He plays for PSG, yes. Ziyech kind of played for Chelsea and played a lot for Ajax. I believe he's in Saudi now. But I'm not that afraid of them. And we tend to do well versus northern teams, especially knowing that we've got the Sundowns players who play against northern teams a lot. I know a lot of those national team is different. They play in Europe and blah, blah, blah. Mara, that counts, you know, that counts. Let's see this game. Yeah, this game is bad, GT. My curse is back, man. Watch Losh gain more weight. Guys, Lerato, is the team allowed to call an additional player or swap a player at this stage? No, you're not allowed to. What had happened was that I believe up to when the group stages started, you were still allowed, but they'd have to still be pre-selected. So, for example, Bruce only took 23 players. He could have taken 27. And hypothetically, the 4 players would have been that. Or like a latecomer like Onana. But in terms of adding new people, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. It's not rugby, guys. It's a rugby. Morocco is more intimidating on paper than on the field. A lot of these teams are the same, man. That's why if there's one scary team, it's Senegal. But otherwise, Egypt, we knocked out Egypt 2019. When we played against Morocco, we've beaten Morocco. So I'm not too scared for Morocco, to be honest with you. I don't have the same value. But let's see. I think At the very least, quarterfinals for us. Senzo says Angola is the dark horse. What happened last night was championship mentality. But also Namibia. Out of the 4 games that Namibia has played, 3 of them have been bad. There was only the 1 game versus Mali where they put their hand up, and maybe you could give them credit, I guess, for the game they played versus Tunisia, I guess. But otherwise, Matovela says, me too, I'm not scared of Morocco. Yeah, Morocco doesn't scare me. Morocco doesn't have that thing, man. It doesn't have that thing themselves. So, I'm not scared of Morocco. Nazo, Yakachwana now. Yes. This might ignite the game because, these teams, neither of them want to win this game. You can see it. It's like they're both playing for penalties. That's what this game is. They're playing for penalties. It's harder to beat a less organized side than a well-oiled one. Look at Mauritania. I hear you, but I also don't think Namibia was well organized. I honestly feel like Namibia, in all of the games that they played, they were hoping to hold on to maybe a 0-0 up until a time when the other team gets desperate. You get what I mean? So when the other team gets desperate and they start losing their own structure, that's when Hoto and Shalulile and those guys would put pressure. The problem is that you have to hold on up until that point. Worked versus Mali, but Chigi, you're 3-0 down versus Bafana Bafana. And you have to score 3 goals. You're not going to do that. Chigi, you're playing against Mali, and Mali is not even allowing you guys to go forward. Chigi, you're playing against Angola, who are aggressive from the onset. Now your plan is not going to work. And I think that was Namibia's plan. Hold out until Boma 80 minutes. Then when everybody is in chaos mode, unleash your 2 guys and profit from the chaos. So I don't know if they were very well structured. It's not like one of these games, you know. Problem with Morocco is Ziyech. Angimsabu Ziyech, guys. Angimsabu Ziyech. The only way I could be afraid of is Ziyech. Kana Ziyech plays on the right-hand side. The only thing I'd be afraid of Ziyech is that on the left-hand side of Bafana Bafana, we've been poor on the left-hand side. Oh, not poor. We're vulnerable. So if you can double Mudiba, you can probably get something. A lot of crosses have come from that side. So baby there. But also, if we play a game similar to what we did versus Namibia, or answer the question. So Bruce's answer to the question was to overload that side. You can't attack Mudiba strong, because the moment we win the ball, you've got Pesitau and Zwane on that side. So your right back is in trouble, right? For example, you could add another defender and make it a back 3, back 5 type situation, and have Mudiba play more of a right wing back and have cover for him. There's things you can do, but I'll say it again. I am not afraid of Morocco. I'm not afraid of Ziyech, to be 100% honest with you. Namibia's over-reliance on Hoto and Shalulile hurt them, says Usenzo. Oh, there we go. Breakaway. Okay. 1-on-1. 1-on-1. What was that? 2v1, 1v1. You've got it on the break. You're transitioning. That was just bad decision making, man. That was just bad decision making. Laid off the ball, made the run. Could have even chopped it. And that was bad. No, that was bad. That was bad. Guinea and Equatorial Guinea, I don't think it will end well. At least back Kapana. And not to say that Kapana is good, kicking each other. It's not to say that it's good. But sometimes you need something to ignite the game, man. Play the overlap, my brother. Play the overlap. Pepin. Barador Pepin. Okay, let's see. GT says, I say we might not beat Morocco. MS prefer to play under pressure. I mean, Bafana Bafana. The Senzo says, DH will only hurt us if we let him dictate play, and he's the dead ball specialist. Roger says on that side is DH and Hakimi, so it can be very difficult. Matabela says, eyes off the ball. Hey, eyes off the ball, man. He had a chance there. Stolen Mokwena will need to have an above average form for us to win, says Senzo. My problem is not the base of midfield. That's not my problem. My problem with Bafana Bafana is goals. That's my issue. I think we play well enough everywhere else that I'm not too worried. Like, for example, Ustole did a good job of covering Mudiba. When they played that game, right? Yes, it opened up some spaces in the middle, but he did a good job. And it was because Percy was leaving to go all the way to the other side. My issue is, where's the goal going to come from? Because we don't have a consistent place where we get goals. And that's where my issue comes from. That's my number one issue. And then number two, to your point about the midfield, building from the back, yeah, I think it's not something we can do with Stoel and Mokwena there. Even those Stoel and Mokwena, very hardworking and they're very good in those positions. I don't think we can play out from the back the way we do. And South Africans hate route one, semi-route one, transitional route one. Hey, we hate it. We hate it with a passion. So and I don't think it will work out. Chabang says we're not too good in defending the ball inside the box also. That's true. Again, but I think what we saw from the Tunisia game, and I'm not going to say that Tunisia is Morocco. I don't want to put them in the same bracket. Tunisia had a lot of crosses, but because of how we were structured, the crosses weren't going anywhere. Mvala and Tekana could deal with the crosses a lot better because it's aimless crosses. It's Toles running at me. I have to cross the ball, Should we come to a situation where if Tunisia had played Malul on the one side and the other guy on the other side, we would have had an issue then. Mara, if it's just aimless crosses, I don't think Ziyech will be able to worry us that much. Issue with Ziyech, again, as somebody mentioned here, Tabaya dead ball specialist, is if Mokwena and Stole lack the discipline there in the middle and give away free kicks on the edge of the box, then Ziyech comes in. Maru Ziyech I don't see it. Spain won the World Cup with tiki-taka. Our strength is in play. That's why Sundowns own Africa. Yeah, cool. They own Africa, but the trophies keep going back to Egypt. Let's be honest. We own it. That's great. And remember, that Spanish team had some outlets, man. And that Spanish team had played false nine type football at club level, So for me, I'm like, still, I think you can understand how Barcelona will score, how Spain will score. I don't know how Bafana will score. What's happening? Was he twerking there? What's Allah? Koketso says, starting from the back always scares me. We can easily get punished. That's why I say, go to a back three, allow Mudiba to tuck in and become an extra midfielder, build up through Mudiba. That's what I would do if you really want to play out from the back. Playing out from the back with those players we have, Nomkwena Nostole, it's not their portion, man. It's not their portion. Okay, we're heading into halftime. What a boring match. If we're being 100% honest, what a boring match. Okay, halftime. Let me just get my graphics right. I'm going to open up and allow you guys to jump in so we can speak about what we've seen in this first half. And then if we can get to a certain number of likes, what I'll do is I'll open, let's say 20,000 likes. I'll open it. and then we can have any other conversation. Well, we can have conversations throughout this game. So if we can get to 20,000 likes, I'll let you guys jump in, and we can have deeper conversations about that. But for now, I'm going to open it up. Please jump in, and then we can speak about what we've seen in this first half. For me, it's been a boring game up to this point. Very, 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 very boring up to this point. Remember that you have to be following me in order to jump in and request. Where do you think our goals will come from? Who is likely to score for us against Morocco? Let me just answer that question. Then I'll just give you my thoughts about what happened in this half. I think, believe it or not, the goals can come from Mahop. But I think what happens is that with Bafana, we're stuck in two minds in terms of the starting lineup. If you saw the chance, there was a chance that Mahopa got, where was it Pesita who crossed it very late, and he headed it and it just went wide of the post. That's what we need to be doing more with Mahop. The problem is that in the makeup of our team, Mahopa is the false nine, and we're expecting our goals to come from Percy. And because Percy takes up so much space and so much attention and focus in that box, we tend to forget that there's a striker on the pitch. If you watch that game versus Tunisia, Mahopa was on the left-hand side, was dropping back, was doing all the stuff. And you say, that's our striker. That's meant to be the guy who's scoring the goals. So in my mind, Bafana needs to split the team in two. It's either you're going to play pace and you're going to play Morena and false nine Percy and maybe play Mayambela or, I don't know, Masego or somebody on the left-hand side, and then do pure transitional tiki-taka type thing where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So one is running there, that one's running there, that one's running there, and score. And then in the second half, maybe switch it and bring in your traditional wingers and tell people to cross to Umahopa. Then we'll see goals. But as long as we're playing this half and half football, I don't know where the goals are going to come from, to be honest with you. As long as it's half and half, I don't know where it's going to come from. But anyway, my thoughts about this first half, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. It's a cagey affair. It's cagey. Both teams don't want to make the mistake. That's what I'm seeing from this. Nobody wants to make a mistake. So the defenses are sitting a little bit deeper. Guinea, more of a mid to low block. Equatorial Guinea, more of a mid block. But they're trying not to get caught in behind. That is what their major thing is for this game. And it's turned off the top goal scorer of the tournament, Nsu, because he's not going to get run-on balls where he can run in. Equatorial Guinea is also allowing themselves to defend in a 3 so that they can push up the right-hand right back. I'm forgetting his name now. 15. Akapo. They're pushing him all the way up. And I think the idea is that you can then take your right winger and put them inside a little. The right wing is not to play. It's to be support for number 10 Ntsue in the middle. But because everybody's cagey and because attacks take so long to start and end, you're seeing them not be effective. On the Guinea side, I don't know what Guinea wants to do. They've had a couple of transitional chances where they've committed 2-3 players very quickly on transition, but because Equatorial Guinea is not making the mistake that they want them to make as much as possible, we're not seeing the ball go up for Guinea. I believe they had one shot and that was like a wide shot. They haven't even had a corner, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a cagey game, man. It's a cagey game. It's a boring game. The players look nervous. The play is nervous. There was 2 breakaways. One for Guinea, where it was a 2v1 and they messed it up Kari last minute going into the box. Also, there was one for Equatorial Guinea on the other end where the player misstepped and kicked the ball the other way. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing from here, this game. But all in all, it is a boring game. And some games are tactical, but they're attacking tactical. You see, okay, these teams are trying to do this, and the other one is actively stopping the other one, and there's some excitement in there. This one, there's no excitement, man. They're just waiting. Literally, they're just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. Hopefully, I think this game will only kick into gear, Boma 55, 60th minute. That's where we'll start seeing some intent when they realize that they need to go win it. There's probably going to be 10, 15 minutes of high-octane football, and then both teams are going to sit back again and go, we're going to see if we can't see penalties here. So I see it's just going to be a boring game up to this. So yeah, back to what we were speaking about with Bafana Bafana. I think Makhupa can be a dangerous player, but we don't play towards Makhupa's strengths enough for him to be dangerous. We play everything else. But the goal is more than likely going to come from Zwane. I don't know about Percy. I think Percy, we should try Percy in the middle. Make him the false nine. Make him the false nine. Look at this. Look. Possession, 60% to Equatorial Guinea. Total shots, 3 from Equatorial Guinea, 3 from Guinea. 0 shots from both teams. 1 corner apiece. 1 offside. That just tells you exactly what this game had for us. That tells you. Very cagey. Neither team wants to go out and win this game. And yeah, it's been very boring. It's been very boring. What's Pega saying? Pega says God has answered my... It's your prayers now. You don't miss him. It's your prayers now. Guys wanna bring your foot nonsense here. Yeah? Wanna talk about Abolodge here. Koketso says North Africans hate running. We need speed. Yeah, that could be a thing. Look, I think more than speed, we need to be threatening. A lot of my problem with what we deem to be our tiki-taka and our South African football is that it's not threatening. Like it or not, when you play versus Namibia, and I know people will say Namibia, and Namibia is like this, and they're poor, and they're not the same quality, and what. Cool. But what I liked about our play is that we had a direction, and we had, you could clearly see. It started here, it went here, it ended with a shot, it ended with a chance, it ended with the defense being uncomfortable. When we play our tiki-taka and we do our tiki-taka things and we play our South African football, it's great, but we tend to run around in the middle of the park, not letting people go. We tend to be really good in places where it's not going to hurt the other team at all, right? So then it winds up, we sit back and we go, who's going to score the goals? But when we played versus Namibia, Percy could have scored. Zwane scored 2. Makhupa may have had a chance because we had a direct line, right? So that's why I'm saying, Guti, but will it give us something? And when we say we're playing speed, as Koketso has said here in the comment, if we say speed, the speed must have an end point. We know Hakimi is probably going to push up. We know Ziyech is probably going to push up. So are we going to take advantage of the spaces that are going to open up when they push? Who's going to take advantage of that? How are we going to take advantage of that? Right? And then Tabo says we need to practice set plays. Kekana and Vala should be dangerous during set plays. Hey, I don't know if our set plays are going to be as effective. I don't know. I'm more afraid of Morocco's set plays than our set plays. I think our set plays, I don't trust anybody to kick the ball in. Like, for example, if we have one on the edge of the box, who are we trusting with the ball? And why? Is it just because of the star player that Percy is going to get the ball? Who do we trust there? Mukwena. Doesn't score free kicks, that one. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game versus Morocco. Like I said, I am not worried about Morocco. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I'm not worried about Morocco. I think we will do well versus them. And if we do lose, it's not going to be because we're played off the park. We've beaten them before, and I think we've got a bit of a blueprint on them. So let's see. But back to this game, 0-0 Equatorial Guinea and Guinea. It's been boring, man. It's been boring. It has been open, guys. Remember, you have to be following me in order to jump in. Koresa, how are you, my brother? Hello? Are you with me?
I'm okay, bro. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. What are your thoughts about this Guinea game?
Uh, Beautiful game, but both teams are a little bit harsh on each other.
Okay.
They are. It's a game. It's one of the first half. Those I can just say we've been facing a little bit of a rough game
Okay.
since the first whistle until the minutes.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful game. That's all I can. That's all I can say. OT. It's a beautiful game.
Do you think that are we seeing this type of game because of the tactics? Are we seeing this type of game because experience? When you get to this level, sometimes, or when you get to the knockouts, sometimes you get scared and you don't want to do stuff. Which one is it?
I believe both teams are. No one wants to make mistakes.
Mm,
That's why you will find this.
mm, mm,
No
mm,
one wants to do mistakes. And one thing we've learned about this AFCON is that you are doing one mistake and it will punish you. Remember the Bafana game? They
mm,
did the first game of Bafana. They did
mm,
one mistake. They've been punished. The Cote d'Ivoire game, same thing.
mm,
Almost every
mm,
game with this AFCON, you do
mm,
one mistake, you will be punished, and there will be more goals coming.
mm,
As soon
mm,
as you do a mistake, there will be more goals. So that's why both teams they are waiting for one team is waiting for another to do a mistake so that they can uh, punish it
mm,
through
mm, mm.
through 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 the mistake.
Do you think we're going to see another second half that's going to be like that? Do you see this game going into extra time, maybe penalties? Or is one of the teams maybe going to wake
No,
up?
no, I don't see this game going to uh, extra time or penalties. This will be the game that will be finished in the 19 minutes play.
Mm,
Equatorial will score any time from now.
okay. And then before I let you go, Koreza, before I let you go, while you're here, what do you think of our chances versus Morocco? South Africa's chances versus Morocco?
My perspective of that game, we will win that game. It won't be the big score, but I believe we will win that game. We have more powers than them. We have a big squad. We
Mm,
have a quality squad than them. And if you remember correctly, when the coach announced the squad, I was one of those who said, "Hey, this squad."
mm,
But
mm, mm.
but now I'm with the team 100%. I believe in our boys. They are doing well, and I believe they can do well even in the Morocco game.
Hoto Koramang, who's going to score these goals? That one goal.
That one goal, maybe Zwane or Pesi between the two. Ma, Mahopa will never score in this AFCON. That's one thing I can tell South Africans. Let's give that. He's playing well. I won't lie. He's playing extremely well, creating spaces for Temba and Pesi. remember when France took a FIFA World Cup,
Mm,
Giroud did played each and every game but didn't score.
mm, mm,
He
mm.
was creating chances for Mbappe. That's the same thing Mahopa is doing. He's playing a big role for our team, and I believe he will play well even against the big giant team like Morocco.
Mara Giroud is the top goal scorer for France ever, man. Do you trust that even when we need to
Yeah,
call upon him for goals, do you think that Mahopa can come up with something for us?
he will never score in this AFCON. That's if he if he can score, he will never score more than 2 goals. For even if we progress, he will never score more than 2 goals. We can even go to
Okay.
find you if if you see how we are playing, if you see how we are playing with Pacey and Temba more
Mm,
than him
okay.
being involved in. His job is just to take the center backs aside so
Mm,
that
mm, mm.
Pace and one can get spaces to play.
I know.
He's creating those pockets for them.
No, Kores, I'm gonna just let you go because the second half is starting. But if we can, guys, if we can get to 20,000 likes, I'll open it. Then I'll let everybody jump in and we can have some conversations about this game and also our thoughts about some other games.
Okay.
Sharp, sharp, Kores, thank you so much. Okay, so if we can get to 20,000 likes, I'll open it and we can have a conversation. Right there, Equatorial Guinea got the chance of a lifetime. Ball bobbled, came out to Nzu, number 10. He got the ball, trapped it, and then he hit it over. And then he hit it over. That was the chance. And what I'm hoping is that that chance will make Guinea wake up because Guinea have started this game, or started this half, a little bit more open than they were in the first half. And I think Equatorial Guinea just found a little bit of a space there. So let's see if they can't take advantage of that. Or maybe Guinea might wake up and realize that they can't be opening new pace. Guys, he was right there. He was right there. That's what when we say he's a right back in real life, in his normal day job, he's a right back. That's where he showed us good. He's a right back in normal everyday life. Tapang says, never, we can't match Morocco. I know we need to get behind the boys, but Morocco is too strong. Nah, guys, me, I'm not afraid of Morocco. I'm not afraid of Morocco, not even a little bit. To be 100% honest with you, I'm not afraid of them. Especially a team that we've seen before, that we've beaten, what it was a qualifier. I'm not afraid. Maybe I should be, but I queue today. Let me see. I want to see something. Okay, Morocco finished number 1 in their group. 2 wins, a draw. 7 goals scored, 5 goals scored, 1 conceded. So their defense is strong on that side. They handled that group very well because Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania couldn't even break 4 points, any of them. But yeah, again, I'm still not afraid of them, guys. I'm not afraid of them. Okay, let's see. The game has opened up. Wait, I just want to see. Okay, Equatorial Guinea. They're starting to knock the ball, but the space is at the back, man. The space is at the back. The space is at the back. Is this the chance for Guinea? Overpost. Now both of them have had chances. Both of them have had chances. I think he rushed it there. Now this number 7, man. This number 7. Pepe. No, not Pepe. He's Guilavogui. Guilavogui. Ay. No way. He's now, it's the second chance that he's doing this with. The other time he couldn't play that final ball or get that final shot away. Tsepang says these two players in that Morocco team, number 17 and 11, boss players, those two. Number 17 and 11, who are we speaking about? Is it Ziyech and Hakimi? Basabi, man. Basabi. Bring them. Okay, 50 minutes in. There's been a little bit more excitement in the second half. But neither team has been able to find that chance. Best chance of the game, Equatorial Guinea. Couldn't take advantage of it. Two is getting a lot more space now. You see how their left wing is playing in a 2, and then they're allowing the right back to push up on the one side and then leaving 3 at the back. So they really are trying to take advantage of having the 2 guys there right at the edge of the box. Guinea's line has pushed up quite a bit. And in Guinea's line pushing up quite a bit, again, there's going to be space there. Ntsue is going to take advantage of that space. Far post cross. It's better far post. There's the corner. There's that chance. There's that chance. There's that chance when he should have. He got under it. That was the best chance of the game. He got under it. Look at the coach. Hey, coach. $20,000 likes, and I let you in. I let everybody in. We can have a conversation, a nice conversation while we're seeing this game. Okay, free kick. Guinea, right-hand side of Equatorial Guinea's box. Let's see if they can make the set piece count. There we go. Is he offside? Is he offside? Oh, offside. Oh, offside. Far post. I told you guys, far post. It's the move. How close was it? How close or far was it? Are we looking at VAR? Nah. Yo. Aye, badly off. Badly off. No need for VAR there. Badly off. But number 4 was flat-footed. Number 4. Picoro. He was flat-footed there. Deserved to be punished if only the punishment was onside. Koresa says should have picked the spot. Tepang says my concern is our link-up play up front. That connection, that's not connecting. Hey, that's why Tepang, it's what I was saying, that I think and I'm not saying this team's name to start stuff. Ifana njenge Chiefs to a degree up front when they play their normal football. And the reason why I say so is at Chiefs you often find Gonzalez or Chivavairo central strikers. We know what they're good at. We know they're good at heading the ball. We know they're good at finishing crosses, or maybe not Gonzalez. Let me not speak about Gonzalez, right? But then you've got Dupree, equally capable at playing striker, but you're playing him right wing, and you're forcing him, you're forcing your striker to be a false 9. You're forcing your striker to have to come back, and you're forcing your striker to do a lot more work when you know that his strength is finishing crosses. Machupa's strength is finishing crosses, right? So you can't play Machupa to finish crosses when you have Percy on the pitch also trying to score. My suggestion was very simple. Take out Machupa. Let Percy come inside and play a more red card. Oh, you're changing game. You're changing game, red card. Okay, now we might get a good game. Now we might get a good game. Oh, yeah. That follow through. Oh, that follow through. Might still be a little bit harsh, but that follow through. I think if he showed a sign of bringing back that leg, it could have been something. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, Picoro, red card number 4, but it's harsh. Let's be honest, it's harsh. They have a yellow card already. Look, he kicks the ball away. It's just that the follow through. It's harsh, man. Let's see if maybe they'll. Coressa says it's dangerous, well-deserved red card. Yeah, I guess. But he kicked the ball. This is where what I mean in modern football. We are very. He kicked the ball and he's followed through. I understand if he came in that way and didn't get the ball and kicked him. I get it. It's malicious. But was that malicious enough to deserve a red card after clearing the ball? But yeah, it is what it is. Red card. Okay, yeah, no, sorry. I just keep getting interrupted. For me, bring Tau Central. Have 2 teams. Bring Tau Central. Have Morena play on the side. Have one of the other wingers or Michali on the other side. And then play a pacey game where there's connections. There'll be times where Zwane is ahead of Tau. There'll be times where they dance. They dance. As Coach Pizzo says, let them dance. So they dance. That's one way to play it, because then you're creating spaces for the quicker players, those Mnandi players to connect with each other. Then have a secondary team that lives to cross. Bring in Lepasa, play Mahopa, and then cross to them, play those type of balls, give them balls where they can poach in the middle of the box, stay in the middle of the box. Then you make it like a bomb squad type thing, where in the second half, tiki-taka wasn't working. Now we go, first half, tiki-taka wasn't working. Second half, let's bring in our 2 guys. Lepasa can play a little bit of that 10, but he's also a poacher. Have them both in the box, pin the other defense back, and then play crosses. You know, maybe things will fall for Tembazwane. So I believe that the problem is that we're trying to squeeze all the style of plays into one game, into one team, and I don't know if it works like that. Let's see. Tepang says, to be honest, Percy hasn't been giving us much more. Our PSL players have been performing way better. Coressa says he had a chance of pulling out of that. Okay, guys. Kolani says it was intentional. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think my argument goes to I'll kick the ball. My follow-through is my follow-through, but the intent of me kicking the ball, I kicked it. I didn't kick him when his head was there. I didn't kick him when all of that was happening. For me, I can understand giving him a red card, but for Na, it would be more of a very harsh yellow for the fact that he won the ball. But modern football, I understand. Maybe we come from a time where follow-throughs and things like that weren't as harshly judged. But like I said, he got the red card. I'm not gonna fight for it. You know, you understand why he would get a red card. 20,000 likes, guys. Then I open it up and we can have a conversation. 59 minutes. 1 man down. We saw what a 1 man down did for Angola. When Angola did what Angola did, they were 1 man down. So we'll be hoping to see that maybe. Here comes Guirassi. Like I said, 60th minute, you bring on the guys that maybe have bigger names. Gila Vogi. He's good. But hey, final product is just not there. maybe Guirassi will be able to do something. He is one of the most standout players in this team. So maybe he can come in and make a difference. Who knows? But these are the type of players with the names that you look at and you go, you bring them on at the end. Let's see. Ah, that was a bad cross. Guinea is committing more people forward, obviously.
Penalty Ntanga, ke penalty. Okay, sir.
Mara, why doesn't VAR work this well? That side. Why doesn't? After watching AFCON, I'm like, hey, guys, this thing these stories we're being told about VAR. Karako Europe, there's something wrong. That is a penalty. That is a straight up penalty. That is a straight up penalty.
Penalty Ntanga, ke penalty.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, the MK, this ref is asleep, man. This ref is asleep. It's taking too long. This one is straightforward, man. It's straightforward. Or are they disputing how much contact there was? Because, like, I guess it doesn't seem to make contact with that first one. But it's contact. No, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. I think they're trying to figure out where the contact is. That's the only thing, where the contact is. Oh, Rev, how many times do you need to watch it, bro? Sarabone. There we go. Penalty. There we go. There we go. Penalty, penalty, penalty. I'm excited for the penalty because it's gonna... It might wake the game up. Especially because Equatorial Guinea are one man down. So it's the Angola effect, I guess. So let's hope that it wakes the game up, because I look this penalty?
It's a big one, eh?
It's a big one. It's a big one. Let's see. Oh, the man who's the top goal scorer in the tournament. You know what's crazy? Whenever I see somebody get the ball so early and stand there so early with the ball in their hands, they usually miss. Like you see where the goalkeeper's playing mind games, stands on the other side. The moment, it almost feels like the moment you have time to think as a penalty taker, that's where the issue comes. So I don't know. Psychology, man. Maybe he'll put it in. Let's see, 68 minutes and so standing up to take the penalty. Carabord. When he's had the ball for so long, they usually miss, guys. They usually miss. Psychology. Psychology. He had way too much time. He has way too much time. Anglo, it's just... Guys, it's football, guys. It's football. The moment you have too much time, if you've been standing there for a long time, the best thing you can do for your penalty takers is to literally just have them, hey, walk in and take it. The moment they stand there with the ball and he's thinking and he's looking up and he's psyching himself and he's doing this and he's doing that. Ball, guys. Ball, guys. Not you've never played Kokas. They tell you Kokas, but you know, let him think. The more he thinks, the more time he has to think, the more. Guys, it's basic football, man. It's basic football. Plus, he also missed the chance earlier on. It's the Percy Tau effect. It's the Percy Tau effect. In reverse. He missed the chance. Now he wants to make it up with the penalty. Now, let's hope Guinea wakes up. I really need Guinea to wake up because if I was Equatorial Guinea, I would go into defense mode. King, 10 men behind the ball. Like, there's only 10 men behind the ball in total. And just defenders see out this game, see if we can't push it into extra time. Coresa says no one can win the ball from behind penalty. That's all. Yeah, no one can win the ball from behind. I think what they were trying to see, the problem guy, that guy, he made a meal of it. So I think they were trying to see that if there was initial contact, because where the leg went, that guy just then went over. If you saw that replay, the left leg, his second leg, doesn't touch anybody, doesn't touch the defender, the guy who's making the tackle. So I think what they were trying to determine is did this guy feel there's a leg there and then go over, or was there actually contact? So I think it was just enough, and benefit of the doubt would always go to the attacking player or the player who was fouled. So I think that's what they were trying to see. That guy made a meal of it. And he didn't even dive well. You should leave. You drag the other leg. Hey, now we're going into dugouts. You drag the other leg so that you can have the contact on the secondary leg. He jumped after getting kicked. That's why I think it took so long, even though it should have been straight penalty. But you have to look for all of the contact that you can find. So as soon as you hear that leg come in, drag. But yeah, but OT, they're taking more time with this VAR thing. I like it though. I like it. I like it a lot. That they're taking their time with the VAR. I like it a lot. I think that's what we all expected VAR to be. Manje leangale, check complete. You just see check complete. Then when they show you the lines that are drawn, it's like, yeah. There's something wrong here. How do he's still going near post? How do you still go near post with corners when you're behind and can't bring? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. So it's still 0-0. Number 10, Tsue, top goal scorer in the AFCON, just missed the penalty. Just missed the penalty. Could have taken 10-man Equatorial Guinea a lot further. But the 10-man team, usually the dominant in the game, says Ukorese. Again, I come from old school, man. I come from old school. If we go one man up, I've got 3 people in the defense. You're not going to see my side of the pitch because you're going to be so scared that I'm going to hit you. Ball. Can't trap, can't play. Counter, boy, counter. Yeah, this one just wins fouls, man. Number 6. Hey, just wins fouls, man. His job in this team, El Salvador, is just to win fouls. And sometimes you need a guy like that. He must see if he can't win them another penalty. 73 minutes, still 0-0. They haven't turned up the volume. Yeah, Coresa. That's why I'm saying, Guti, for me, we were taught, Guti, when a team goes down to 10 men, you turn up the volume. Like you turn up the volume to the point where that team can't even see the other side of the pitch. Number 6 is more like Aoyaya. That man, that number 6 doesn't even want to play the ball. He's not looking for a pass or anything. He's looking for a foul. Great player to have when you're 10 men so that you can relax. And guys, a lot of these things, man, that's why when I watch the PSL and I watch some of the games, even here at the AFCON, it's interesting because it feels as though the coaches don't want to take advantage of things, For example, send that guy, number 6, whoever's got a yellow card there in the Guinea defense, bombard him with that guy. On the Equatorial Guinea side, on the Guinea side, you've got an extra man. Why aren't you also pushing up a bit more? Because you can afford to. Equatorial Guinea is in a situation where they've got a red card and it's 0-0. They can't afford to push anybody more forward than Unsuwe, for example. So the 10-man advantage should be that we're going to push more people forward and we're going to push you even more back and just create pressure. Here's the pressure cooker. And I hate to reference him again, but the pressure cooker that Aborulani create when teams are down 1-0 or when games need to be won, that's the pressure cooker. You don't score because you've got more people. You score because more people are giving you more pressure and the defense is forced to do more. Then they can make a mistake and you can score. Right? It's not necessarily that because you have more people, it's automatically you're going to, no. You pressure them. Manje, look at these guys. We watched the game. Funny enough, there's the game. We watched the game, Angola versus Namibia. Angola went down, and then they turned up the pressure. That's what you do. That's how you take advantage. But a lot of these teams don't take advantage. A lot of these teams don't take advantage. And it's those type of things, man, where I'm like, we watch football a lot, guys. We watch football, we understand football, we consume a lot of football. And maybe it's different when you get to the pitch. But from the outside, and when you look at the most successful teams ever, they had little things that they did. Barcelona was not very good defensively, but they understood that if a team comes and tries to hit us on the break, Busquets just needs to do that thing. We've calmed down again. But now I'm going all over the place. The point is, in tournaments like this, it's not just pretty football that's going to win you games, guys. It's not just pretty football. You have to start doing high-level things, targeting players, pressuring the defense, doing a whole bunch of different things in the game. And we don't see a lot of that, honestly speaking, in our game. Everybody wants to win beautifully. And winning beautifully is great. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to win beautiful. But you have to be able to do, the dark arts. I call it the dark arts. You have to be able to Nangu Keita. Now you want to bring on Abu Keita. Now. Naby Keita coming on. Former Liverpool man. But yeah, I don't know. I want to get coaches and things. Pelatina, I think, when you watch football, some of us don't have licenses. I don't have any of the licenses. But we grew up playing football where you have to solve problems. Like your primary thing on the pitch to solve problems. Your coach is not going to tell you to move like this and got to munta and do that. We came up in a time where you had to fix those problems. It was up to you. As a defense, you spoke. You had to think about it and go, like this. This is the pattern. How do I break the pattern? Yeah, come back. Yeah, so on the pitch, Tina said, these new guys and this new footballer, where they got a red card and Guinea hasn't changed anything. They changed it, 30 minutes after the red card is when they make the first change, right? They haven't up to the gear. They haven't done much. Those are the things where I'm like, when I'm watching it, I imagine myself as a player who's been in those situations, and I know it's not professional or whatever, where it's like, you guys have gone down. We're going to take advantage. Let defender, makaso, so, this guy does this, or that guy kicks me when I do this, or that guy, that's what you need to do. But the modern game, let's be honest, the modern game, FIFA, and they're not playing FIFA, it's delayed. The coach must tell you first, no, move up, push up, come back. I used to say, if you watched if you watched if you watched the English Premiership during COVID, when they had no announcers, when they had none of that stuff, you would physically hear, I know with my coach, you'd physically hear, Nico, come back. Saka, push up. Spanman, do this. Back in the day, think about it, where was Ferguson sitting? Most of the game. Where was Rafa sitting most of the game? Because you could trust that these guys could solve problems on their own. Now we've watched the red card situations. We've watched things happening over and over, patterns of play happening over and over, and they can't take advantage of it. For example, I could tell you that at the beginning of the game, Guinea was playing with a back three because their right back was all the way up in order so that their right wing can become a two and become a striking double there in the middle. That means that there's a space on the right-hand side that Guinea should have been able to take advantage of, right? Now Guinea's playing on the right-hand side after Equatorial Guinea has gotten a red card and now they're in defensive mode and they've missed a penalty. Now you want to take advantage of that weakness when that right back was told to sit back. Now is the time when you want to do it. I don't understand that. And that's why I say when I watch modern football, quote unquote, this modern football, they don't solve problems. They can't solve problems until the coach stands up and solves the problem for them. Ooh, nice cross there. Guinea, forcing a save from Equatorial Guinea goalkeeper. They can't solve the problems. And it gets to me so much. It gets to me so much. Now number 6. Here on the left side, the left defense of Equatorial Guinea, of the Guinea, number 6 Equatorial Guinea had been fouled so many times. So what I would do, even on the pitch as a player, I'd tell the guy, number 6, I don't want to see you in the middle. I don't want to see you running up the side. I want you to go directly to that guy. We're gonna put him in a situation where we are kappa foot. 2-3 times I look at the ref and I go, ref. Now, if he gets the next yellow card or he gets a yellow card, they either have to change how they play or he's at risk of getting a red. It's what the North African teams do that thing so well. So well. Oh, Loya Kapa. We're going to keep running at him so that we can get 3, 4, 5, 6 fouls or whatever. And then they just look at the ref and say, ref, this is the 3rd time, it's the 4th time. By number 3, ref has to take out a yellow card. Now, if you don't kappa me after that, or you have to mark me after, it's either you're going to be too soft because you're afraid of getting a red card, or you're going to be harsh and get a red card. How many times has Equatorial Guinea at least used that to take advantage of that side? This is why I'm like, hey guys, I don't know about this football, this new football that you guys talk about, and these new players, they know, I find it's not the same, man. It's not the same. Look at the coach. Like, our coach have to explain everything, the smallest details. But anyway, let me not go too far in that rant. Tuesday. Mtakababa, they're playing Tuesday. This game is going to carry on and go to a thingy. It's going to carry on and go to extra time and penalties here. Someone needs to score. We can't watch more of this, man. You had a guy on... And if I'm keeping, I know there's number 6 that side. MK says that this would be a game of goals. The teams are trying to wake up at the end. Well, one team is trying to wake up at the end. The other team, it's fine, eh? I thought it was going to be a lot more free-flowing. I thought it was going to be a shootout, to be honest with you. But they came out and they went defensive. I honestly thought this game was going to be a shootout. As you guys are saying, a game of goals. I thought it was going to be attacking. end-to-end stuff. Aye. Red card just made it worse. And then because Equatorial Guinea missed that penalty, it just ruined the whole game. There we go. There we go. Cross it back. Cross it back. What was that? Okay, Jim, you beat your man. This was the Morena situation. You've beaten your man. Are you also looking for a penalty? He's looking for a penalty. He's also looking for a penalty. He has a shout, to be fair. Is the ref checking? Is there a VAR check? There was contact, and it was from behind, inside the box. But are they judging him to be too far away from the ball? But he did get to say, guys. Is he being punished because he didn't fall? I don't understand. Is that what's happening here? He's being punished because he didn't fall. There was clear contact. Or what? Am I again off it? Guys, tell me then in the comments, Koresa, am I off there? I thought that was a penalty shot. That was the penalties that VAR that pre-VAR, they would miss that. But now, but they're not fighting for it. Oh, well, okay. I guess everybody's happy. I really want a goal, man. I really want a goal. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's a straightforward penalty, that one. It's not clear, Tolan. Yo, way. Kin. That was clear, guys. That was clear. Okay, Guinea with another shot, but very tame effort. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Deflected off one of the defenders and went to the goalkeeper. I'd say we've got about 8 minutes left. Do you know why, Tolan, I'm saying that it's a penalty? He had beaten his man, and in his man trying to cross in the box, he clipped him. Manje, I think the problem came that Untanga ngabadayivile lapha. Maybe they would have given it to him. But yeah, he also didn't feel like there was any contact. So, okay, I guess if they're happy, sizaba happy song. From behind, clipped him. Luckily, the guy could still find his balance and shoot. But don't you go back and go, actually? Or must it be Doxo? And because he tried to take a shot, it's no longer Doxo. Is that what it is? Ooh, Equatorial Guinea. Let's see if they can't steal one here. Let's see if they can't steal one. I need a clear winner. At this point, I'd push everyone forward, eh? After all of that, and then your ball in. I thought it was gonna go for the far post with that free kick. Why would you go near post to the ball? Yo. Coressa says, I always say no player can win a ball from behind. Yeah. And I thought contact is contact. But yeah. Come on, Equatorial Guinea. It's not the time to be. Oh, Number 6, just run to the right-hand side and go win yourself some fouls so your team can relax, man. Why are you trying to do these fancy things? Look, then he doesn't cover his right back. Oh. Ay, man. Get basic. It's like... This number 12 really wants this defender, eh? Yeah, all men behind the ball now. Oh, Monobekutso, welcome. Decision making, guys. Oh, decision making. Or maybe I put too much. Maybe I put too much thought into these things. But these players, man, sometimes ngama decision making wabo. Let's go, Equatorial Guinea. Why are you holding the ball when you're one man down like that? How? Now, yo, guys. You're one man down. You've got the ball in the middle. Your players have run past you, waiting for you to pass. Let's see if Guinea can fashion something here. I just want a winner. This game can't go into extra time. Yeah, thank you, number 6. That's all your job should be. Winning fouls. That's all you need to do. Why they're all holding their heads as if there's not extra time to come after this. That's another thing. Remember we spoke about the penalty taker psychology? That's another thing. You'll be one man up, and then you'll think about going into these extra time periods, and you'll drop that you couldn't finish it in 90 minutes. And that's where the other team, the team with 10 men, comes out in the extra time and shows you flames. Let's see if Guinea can do something here. Would have loved Equatorial Guinea to go through, Mara. They gave up on this game after that red card. Decision making. Why are you backheeling it? Shall we tend? People are losing. Shall we tend? And this is now the 4th or 5th time where he could have got the ball. There was a run happening on the other side of him. 3 men. There's the second or third time. It was number 7. Number 7. Guilavogi. He was the guy who had the issue first half. This match can't go into that, man. See, Guinea's failing to turn up the volume. They're failing to turn up the volume. You've got the man advantage, and you're still playing. Look at that box. If we cross into that box, Guinea has 5 people waiting. You're not even committing players forward. That's why teams with 10 men win games or can hold out and are tough to beat. At some point, you got to turn up the volume, man. Why do you still have a back 4? 90 plus 5. The other team has most of their team, if not all of their team, in defensive mode right now. Why are you still being conservative? Oh, should have crossed it back instead of there, but it was a good move. It was a good move. Missed chance again. Yeah, Coreza, another missed chance. Hey, these teams are wasteful, man. Of the few chances that they create, they're very wasteful with it. Imagine losing it carry last minute, man. Imagine, apologies, guys, apologies for that. Imagine losing it carry last minute. Oh, what a header. Oh, what a header. Oh, what a header. Near post. Keeper couldn't get there. Last minute, literally, last kick of the game. It should be the last kick of the game. That is incredible. That is incredible. Game over. At last. Kolani, at last. Shem, I can only imagine when you look at the Equatorial Guinea fans.
Ase ngapetuka ke moyeni, ngapetuka kwasipetu.
Aye, because Shem, losing it like that. But you know what? Yeah. Man, what's going on here? You know what they say?
Football can kill. will kill you a real death. You will die because of football.
No. But it's fine. Unfortunately, that was the last of the action that Equatorial Guinea is going to see in this tournament. Carry last minute. But it is what it is, guys. That was the game. Just to wrap it up before I close. For me, I think it was a cagey game. I think it was a game where two teams didn't want to make the mistake. Clearly, there's the mistakes. There's the mistake. So they didn't want to make any mistake. They were very cagey. They didn't go forward. The chances they did get, they didn't take them. Equatorial Guinea will probably feel a little bit more hard done. Red card on their side. They got the red card on their side. They missed the penalty. So maybe this game looks a whole lot different if it wasn't for that penalty miss. But that's how football is. If you don't take your chances, something will happen. And Guinea was pushing towards the end of that game. Not all the way to 100, but they were pushing. And they managed to get the goal, man. They managed to get the goal. So, unfortunately, one of the dark horses of this tournament, Equatorial Guinea, with their top goal scorer, Nsue, are going home. And Guinea goes further than they did in the 2021 edition of the tournament. In 2021, they were knocked out at this stage by Gambia. Now they get to go through to the next round. It's sad, but it's football. Well done to Guinea for keeping the hope, I guess, keeping the hope up until the last minutes. Possession stats, it is 52% to Equatorial Guinea. Guinea had 10 shots versus Equatorial Guinea's 4 shots on target, and Guinea only had no shots on target in the game, 2 corners apiece, and that's how the game ended. Guys, remember, during AFCON, the show will start at 7 o'clock, the normal show. I'll see you guys then tomorrow, and then, of course, we will watch Bafana Bafana on Tuesday at 10, I believe it is. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for the commenters. Thank you for the people who jumped on. I'm going to close it. I'll see you guys then tomorrow, 7 p.m. But shout out to the technicians. Man. I'm a technician at my 7, man. I've always wanted to send that message. But see you guys.